All right, everybody, welcome to Tabletop to Keyboard. I'm Dustin. I am your ST. That's Storyteller. That's how we roll around here for this game. And with me is most of my players. We are short a Cameron. We wish him well. Omar will not die off screen, like some characters might in other games. But at least maybe not tonight. We'll see. Hopefully we see him back in a couple of weeks.
Care.
He does not care. Hemoglobal will live on without him.
That's a great name.
But with us, we do have most of our players back. So, Jeff, tell him a little bit about Nathan and what he has been up to in his life, goals, and dreams.
Yeah, so Nathan Sanchez, Zebruja in the group, has recently come into contact with his old life, that of a protester and advocate for human rights and that sort of thing. Came into the extreme apathy that is the mortal world in this setting, and came to the harsh reality that everything will stay the same forever. His rage is great.
He had a brush with the long arm of the technocracy. That's what he did. He's like, nothing will ever change. Me.
And
Yep.
go ahead, Jeff.
No, that's it.
Oh, okay. I thought you had more to say. I didn't want to cut you off. All right. Next to Jeff here on our overlay, we have our buddy Boffrin, best beard in the business. Boffrin, tell him a little bit about yourself there and your character Thomas, what he's up to.
Well, let's see.
Everyone's a little quiet.
Coming off some bronchitis, so it sounded a little rough. Apologies, folks. But Thomas is still coming to grips with essentially still trying to wrap his head around. Essentially, he's become what he was taught when growing up was essentially a god. So you've got all that coming in, and trying to figure out how to come into your power and learning how to do things in a way that doesn't get you greased instantly.
Nice. All right. And making that, he gets the whole other side of the overlay to himself today because Cameron's gone. It's Levi playing his character Second. Levi, tell him a little bit about Second and yourself.
On one hand, I'm tech support for Hemoglobal and a number of other business ventures we'll be tackling in the future. I'm here to assist, and at the same time, I found out that the truths I've been investigating for so long go so much deeper, and it's layers within layers within layers, and maybe I just need to burn it all to the ground. Starting with Omar.
Sorry, Omar. First they killed your sire, now they're coming for you.
Always go with
all
that
right.
day. That's interesting.
So, he's got a bottle. He told me last game.
I've got so many bottles, guys. So many jars.
So, for those of you who are joining us on the YouTubes, you probably remember the last session because you probably just watched it. But for those of you who are watching us live, it's been a couple of weeks, to say the least. And it's been a little while. So last game session, Omar launched officially Hemoglobal. Him and Second been working on that app to get it up going as a way for Omar to start to pay off the tremendous boon debts that he has acquired through the death of his sire Grub. May he forever rest in peace. There was a little bit of research done by Nathan over the iKindred app looking for a local jobs board, which he found that there is an entity known as the Sheriff in Kindred Society, whose job is to extract. Yes. Where he found that the Sheriff of the domain is currently missing a deputy and is looking for a few souls with a little extra spare time in the night to go perhaps investigate and come back with some information to the tune of one minor boon if they come back with some valuable info. So while they were contemplating this, however, Nathan had also gotten a tip that there was some local rabble-rousers who were putting together a protest the man and the banks downtown, and so they decided to stop in to see what sort of protest this was, where they found a small circle of coffee-drinking yippies led by the head yippie named Meg, only to learn that these people actually know very little to nothing about anything they're doing and are merely, well, they're not even really the people who are really all that put out by most things. They're just attempting to be good people and to help a cause that they really don't know too much about. So Nathan tried to rile them up, tried to get them to do stuff, only to kind of learn from his sire after the whole thing was over that these people are mostly kept in the dark, and everything that they protest for and everything they protest against all lead back to, in some way, shape, or form, another kindred. So this harsh reality has set in that maybe the way he's done things in his mortal life is not the same way he can attempt to do things in unlife. And this is maybe not settled so well with Nathan. So
He was happy with the fruits of his efforts last game.
he did gain himself a dot of allies out of the deal. See, he's going to have to do some work to really up those allies to some dots that might actually be worthwhile, but this is where all things always start. So he's got at least a foothold with a group that he can grow, build, and maybe turn into something down the road. But right now, they're mostly useless, as dot one allies typically are. And not to be left out, second, got first contact made with an entity calling itself Adam, who has informed him that his work on Eve has been here from the beginning, and is rather cryptic, and he doesn't know what that means, but it freaked him out that something made contact with him, and so he may just burn that to the ground too. He's got
that fire solves everything.
Fire solves everything. So
With the chuck method, I see.
So I
Your Oracle of
believe
fire helps the riot go down.
it's always cryptic. That's right, Debbie Snacks, always cryptic. So I believe at the end of the last game session, after speaking a bit with Tyrone, we had determined it was going to be daylight and everyone needed to return to their downstairs shitty apartment haven that they were renting from the site Haunts, from Mr. DK Moore, for a trivial boon. And they return to their haunt for the day. You get a fair amount of rest. You wake up, of course, one blood less than you had the night before because you haven't gone feeding. And every day you wake up and it takes you blood to wake up. So you do that. And you wake up. It is dusk. The sun is going down. You guys are young kindred. So you get your full night's worth of time ahead of you. You're not some elder who has to wait till midnight to wake up. Nope. You get up bright and early and wait for those last few rays to eclipse over the horizon so that you don't find yourself with a nasty sunburn when you walk outside. And it is nighttime. Where would you like to start this evening?
Good question. You want to have anything in particular you want to be doing?
Omar tells you he has to go hunt down some more people to add to his collection for hemoglobal, so he is already out the door.
Okay.
I need to eat, so I'm going to use our own app.
Okay, you're gonna order from hemoglobal?
Why would I work with a competitor? I don't even know how to do this, and I set up the entire infrastructure for the app. So, what do I do here? See what I do?
Okay,
It's the thing that I made.
well, since you made the app, this is going to be a relatively easy roll. You're just going to make an intelligence plus computers roll, and we're just
cool.
you're just going to need a simple success since you made the rules for this thing. It should be fairly easy. Difficulty is
Computers I don't suck at.
difficulty 6.
Is like the number of successes significant to anything in particular, or no?
And not this
Just
time
need
around.
Okay.
You just need one.
I guess don't botch.
I got a lot.
You got a lot. So
Yeah, I got 8 successes.
now at this point, hemoglobal has never been used, so you weren't really sure how it was going to go. So your attempt to put in the first order on hemoglobal, you realize there was some bugs and some things, and you kind of actually fixed them as you're working on it. So all these little extra successes you got, like you're actually troubleshooting and fixing this whole thing as it goes. And it takes you maybe half an hour as you're kind of fiddling with it a bit. And then you're like, boop, and boom, it goes through. And pretty soon you get a response from Omar, and it's like, really? I just left. But he's like, be there in a moment. And pretty soon Omar comes back with a couple of people in tow.
Back room. Don't look at me!
Okay. You didn't put anything...
Look at the wall!
You didn't specify any kind of person in particular, so he's just got a couple of people from his personal herd. And since his herd is .3, you can take safely up to 3 points of blood.
Okay. I do that.
Since he's not here to use it himself.
Oh, man.
I will let you and Cameron, in between game sessions, decide whether or not he charges you any boons for the use of his herd. Since he's not here, I'll let him make that call later.
If I get charged boons, I will sabotage the infrastructure.
You can decide that with him later. I'm not making that call for him. I'm just...
Don't mess with me, Cam.
Is he in the chat?
You had to
Is he in
troubleshoot the
chat by chance?
process, right?
Yeah, you had to troubleshoot the
So-
process, so...
You troubleshot the process, and part of sitting there and debugging the system is, of course, you needed to make sure the system was working properly.
I gotta make sure the system is not down.
So you're able to safely feed for 3 off of his herd. I don't know how the rest of you guys are sitting on blood, but...
I was
Apparently I've
down
only
to
used the one.
4, so I wasn't great.
Yeah, somebody took actual damage a couple times.
Yeah, few damage points there. Well, while Second's back there getting his cocktail, hey, so Thomas, things obviously
In the back
didn't
room.
go anywhere last time. So my angle didn't go anywhere last night. You got anything interesting?
I got a note where it looks like I'm going to need to put in an appearance in front of I believe the Primogen for my clan.
What was that again? Like the boss or something?
Don't remember. Yep.
Okay.
It hasn't been that long for you, so you would remember. You were told that Chandra wanted you to meet with Anatoly, who is the Primogen for Clan Tremere, and he would be making an appearance at the next Elysium, which is still a few nights away. So you're not quite to that point yet, but you know what's coming up.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically, next time there's an Elysium. So,
Yeah, I guess we should all make an appearance, right?
it's still a ways off.
So,
I mean, wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, at the risk of being bored to death, I was looking through the app, and there's some shit going down.
What type of stuff? I mean, I know that Omar's kind of. Basically, I don't know if Kindred have anything like credit restructuring. It seems like he might need a little of that debt consolidation action.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Like, figure if we do some tasks, maybe we can get it wiped clean, get them out from underneath people. So, like, at least on this thing, it's saying the sheriff guy we kind of did something for before. I guess his crew must be incompetent or something because one of their dudes is missing. So he's looking for us to go find him. One way or another, I guess.
About now, the 2 herd walk out, and they both, very puzzlingly, are holding business cards. And all the business cards say is, "I'm watching you. Don't look at me." And then it lists a family member of their family.
So they take their walk of shame out with Omar, and he leaves to take them back where they came from and go continue to work on his herd.
Right on. Feeling better, second?
Yeah. What are we doing?
Is it just me, or is that sort of like college? Like, after a night of hard partying?
Yeah, day after? Yeah.
Monday morning classes? Yeah.
Well, we got some shit we can be doing if we want.
Has to be a more efficient way than even this. I'm thinking something like a Capri Sun. I'm not sure though.
Never get the straw in that thing right, man.
I don't care.
So anyway, we've been kind of just doing our thing, but I found a way we may be able to get some boons. I'm looking at this app thing, they got like a jobs wanted board kind of thing. And I was telling Thomas, the sheriff's, I guess, deputy or some shit, got himself disappeared. So, there's, go seek, maybe return kind of thing. Score a minor boon, that kind of stuff.
Fine. I'm on board.
Yeah, I guess that little bit on the app, but just we could call a Boone's Farm.
Boone's.
Boone's Farm.
Good one, Crazy.
Yeah,
That's a good
crazy like gaming's comment there.
That's quality. Boone's Farm.
Good stuff. Boone's Farm, that's genius. Yeah, I mean, take a look at this this post. Does it have any information?
Just to contact Willis, the domain's sheriff, and it gives an address.
Okay.
I checked the address. What is it?
It's one of the largest banks in the city.
Bank. Okay.
All right, I get the van ready.
All right. Well, it's like last time. Might need to gear up. So if you got anything to bring, toss it in.
Got it. I get 10 jars and I put it in the van.
10 jars in the van.
Jesus. It's a lot of gas.
I just like that he keeps his own inventory and I don't have to track it.
Yeah, I still have
That's
30.
great.
I still have 30.
Yeah. I know how much it gave him. It's just great that he just marks it all off as he goes. So
The truly great part though is like the jars to him are like paper clips to MacGyver.
yeah. Yeah.
But it's always fire.
What's always interesting is it's like when you give a player like 30 explosives, like there is no such thing as an unworthy target. But as they whittle down to like a number, suddenly it becomes like Seinfeld, like Sponge-worthy sort of deal. It's like I don't know if that one's worth a bottle. Maybe we don't blow this guy up. Maybe just kill him in a normal fashion. Like so whatever today is worth 10 bottles already. He's already 1/3 committed of his chips into the pot. So, all right. So you guys get in Second's van, and you make your way to the address, and it is this tall, Gothic-like stone building that is easily dated as maybe one of the older buildings in New Haven. It's got the large, like, kind of almost like a sculptured architecture to it. Pillars, gold inlaid, encrusted name that's engraved everything in with Roman numerals for the dates and all that sort of stuff. And then the more updated security with the metal detectors and the revolving door, still there, kind of a weird mesh of old city and new technology. Like things have been updated, but in a way that it doesn't really it doesn't destroy the original aesthetic of the building.
Well, could have been glass building, all the rest. At least this one's got some character.
It's late at night. You're surprised to still find that the doors are, in fact, open.
Lights on and everything?
Mm-hmm. There's what you would assume to be a couple of security-like guards that are just kind of poking around in the lobby.
Okay. On in.
They just kind of look at you as you walk in, and you walk up. There's one old man who's looks like a teller standing at one of the teller stations.
Okay. I'll walk up there. Hey, good evening, man.
Welcome, and what can I do for you?
Well, I was looking to set up some account type stuff, but I was told I need to talk to a man named and I'd say whatever the guy's name was.
Willis.
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 Yes, Mr. Vanderbeek. Yes.
Yeah.
And what is your claim number that you're responding to?
I'll look slightly confused, but look at the app real fast, see if there's something there.
There is. There's like a 7-digit
Yeah,
code
hold on.
number on it.
There it is. It's
3224478.
that's the one. Thanks, man.
Yeah, he kind of leans over and he pecks at the keyboard with like one number at a time. Hits enter. Goes, oh yes, okay, guys, right this way, and he kind of motions to the security guards who walk over to an elevator and they hit a number. It opens up and they motion for you to go ahead and get in.
Get on that way.
You get in. Super upscale looking elevator. Again, kind of got a classic feel to it. The doors slide shut. It's all the little round numbers, but they're all blanked out except the one that takes you up to the top.
Okay.
You hit it. The guards just stand there and the doors close in front of them, leaving you in the elevator alone. It takes you a few good minutes as it coasts its way up to the top, eventually reaching the top floor. You can see the little light ding, 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 ding through all the blank numbers that you can't stop at. It just slowly makes its way up there towards the top one that's pressed in. Eventually it gets up there, ding, the door's open. You look around. It's clearly a penthouse office type area. You see a middle-aged looking man, slick back hair, nice Armani-like suit, sitting at a desk, filling out paperwork. He's on the phone, hangs it up, stands up, looks down at his cellular device. I see you've come to lend yourself to be assistance to the domain.
Open.
Relatively new here in town. I don't think we've...
if you're not earning, you're gonna wind up owing, right?
Indeed. Recently acknowledged, I see, by the Harpy.
Yeah, took care of things.
Well, I'm a very busy man. My name is Willis Vanderbeek. I serve as sheriff of the domain.
It sounds like you got some deputies on the lam.
I have one that's gone missing, hasn't reported back. It's not like Duncan to be late.
Got any suspicions?
Not at this point. He was sent out on a regular patrol to the north. A few small towns. I sent him out there because he's the best equipped member of the Gangrel family.
It's Gangrel, man. Alright.
There's been some weird suspicious activity, small town to the north. Sent him up there to file a report, come back. He never returned.
Kind of activity.
Well, I'd caught word that some members of our rival sect, known as the Sabbat, had taken up a stronghold under Prince Sebastian. Our sects have been at a relative peace after the incidents that caused us to have to, well, perhaps go more into hiding than usual. With open warfare no longer an option, I've increased patrols with my deputies to ensure that we don't get any wandering panders into our domain. We believed we'd found perhaps such a place. I sent a deputy to check it out. He's never returned.
Okay, so what's the dude look like?
Well, he's gangrel. If you don't know much about them, they have the ability to take the form of many different animals, beasts. They will sometimes use that in order to get around. But normally, Duncan's a rather thin, wiry, scrappy man, bald head, usually in denim.
Okay. Well, so we're going in there, probably running into some trouble. What happens if we scrap?
If you find evidence that the Sabbat are in fact creating pander, if you can find evidence to the disappearance of my deputy, then of course you return to me with that information, and I shall pay you in boons. And if you are able to bring back evidence of those responsible, I could put in a good word with the Harpies to see that you are granted a measure of standing in the domain for your efforts. In particular, if you were to have to risk your necks on behalf of this domain.
Right, sounds good.
To be awarded to you, of course, the next Elysium.
So I assume we got permission to defend ourselves, right?
You always
Comes
have
to it.
permission to defend yourselves.
Good.
What you don't have permission to do is break the Masquerade.
All right. No problem.
I assume due to the ideological differences, although with what you said there, it sounds like the Sabbat may also not be, maybe a bit more disinclined to break the Masquerade these days.
Yes. They have somewhat broken away from old habits. Now that every mortal who walks the streets is a journalist with a camera in hand, some of their tactics have are being reconsidered. In the meantime, in order to ensure peace for all of us, Prince Sebastian has asked for them all to register themselves on the iKindred app in an attempt to see if he can unify us back to one people again. He is more optimistic, perhaps, than the rest of us.
All right, so just go up to this random town up north, beat around looking at stuff, see if we can find the pandas, get going. Got it.
Well, I think the main thing is find out what happened to the deputy. And, if it is, I mean, that's the main point of this, right? Determine what happened to the deputy.
Soon bring him back if we find him.
Yeah.
Right. I'm afraid I don't have any more time for you right now. You can see yourselves to the elevator.
All right. Catch you later, man.
You hear phones are already ringing, and he sits down and picks up another.
As we're going down the elevator.
The
Man.
little button starts going ding, ding, ding.
It's the weirdest thing, man. Why would somebody be bringing pandas into the city, man?
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
Bears?
I think
Like,
it said pander. So, you know, I mean, what? They're going to sit there and, like, stroke our egos or,
Well, it's
like,
one of those things like we
bring
don't
us
say it in
snacks
front of
or...
them, right? Because then we sound idiotic.
yeah.
So,
Could be like what? So he said pander? So like what? Like a panhandler or something like that?
Nah, you know, I could just go one of the definition of the word, you know, like basically trying to sit there and make overtures of overtly friendly overtures and trying to gain your favor, you know. I mean,
Right. Well,
you know,
so we gotta look for evidence of some people trying to be too chummy. Got it. Shouldn't be too hard. So let's get going, I guess. The only person to spot we run into is the harpy, right?
after the job's done,
Yeah, but I mean, like, we've talked to the harpy before. She said she was Sabat.
I thought she said we have to choose our allegiance.
She did, but I kind of asked who she was with.
I can't really tell how much people actually care about anything around here. Like, I don't see us having a lot of choice, personally.
Yeah, I was thinking just maybe we could find out something.
Okay.
But, you know, direct path is better, I think. But, you know, just throwing it out there.
Or, you
Maybe
know.
something.
Could reach out to our sires and see if they know about these panders. I mean, we could also be totally misreading this, right?
Yeah, I don't know if Tyrone knows a whole lot about this sort of shit. It's more just like, you know, squashing any hopes of anything being decent around here. But, you know, if your lady knows something, sure.
I'd rather not involve mine, who I assume is here listening right now.
Yeah, he's probably like,
I don't know. My sire may be a little upset with me since I did kind of unintentionally send Taper her way.
wait, that was an accident? It seemed pretty spot on.
Yes, it was, and we're
Damn
going to
you, Animal G.
maintain that.
Damn you, Animal G. Well, with the 100 bits fired, I think we got a Taper sighting.
Okay, so you guys get to the bottom of the elevator. Ding! It opens up, and there's the two guards standing there. And in the lobby, there's Taper. And he's like leaning up against the counter as you guys like walk on out. And he takes like a couple like almost elongated steps to like make his way over there to you guys. Like he's like part of the group now. And you guys
Try not to make eye contact.
you guys walk right on out the revolving doors. And he waits for, you know, what to come around so he doesn't actually have to touch any of it. He kind of slides on out there. He goes, "So did you get the job? Is it yours?
Yes.
Ooh, where are we going?
We're gonna fight pandas.
Panders? You guys are gonna
Pandas.
fight panders?
Pandas.
Oh,
Just gotta see if they're out there.
The sheriff said pandas.
no. Those are dangerous.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they're like a...
How?
Aren't they a bear?
I said,
Technically, no.
I think they're more closely related to like raccoons.
Well, I heard those are nasty too. Usually rabid. So, why does the sheriff want you to fight bears?
How about we skip the part and you just tell us what we're fighting? Unless this is some fun game for you.
I think I heard him say panders.
What's a pander?
Oh, pander. That's a
The only thing that comes to mind for me is like like someone trying to be overly ingratiating themselves to you, to a point where they're obviously trying to, play you up for something. But that doesn't sound too dangerous, and that it seems counterintuitive, right?
it's kind of old jargon for clanless. The ones who were made and then just left, often in mass or groups.
Bastards.
Yes.
Okay. So like just us, but with like hopped up on ignorance and fiending for blood. Cool. So this is like what all the movies are about.
Sure. Yeah, that's it. I mean, nobody would ever confuse you guys for panders. No. So where are we going?
We're going to this address. And I just show him.
Ooh. Wow. That's hitting a little close to home, don't you think?
Is it a location that makes any sense to us?
Yeah. It's the town you came from.
Huh. Like the hatchery, or where we're actually from?
Deputy.
That's where the hatchery's at.
Disappeared.
I mean, you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
I don't know. Are you making people?
Well, I look at the time. I gotta go before anybody sees me here. Have fun on your hunt. And he takes off running back down the street and disappears.
I apologize.
How was that?
I don't care. I don't
Alright.
want to be angry anymore, but
Nathan, that strike you as weird? You just kind of bowed out and...
Dude, I'm not gonna lift a gift horse in the mouth, man. Just move on.
Yeah, beware of Greeks bearing gifts.
I don't know. He sounds dirty, man. He's fucking lunatic, man. Probably just popping him out weekly. Still want to get caught doing it. Now let's just go down there and figure it
Broken
out.
clock is right twice a day, isn't it?
I mean, we're only up for half of that, man. Let's get to.
legitimate.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, at least we're not getting sent to kill him, right?
oh god.
Animal G, you are relentless in punishing us.
I normally am like, ha ha ha, Animal G's fucking with everybody, and now it's like I'm on the receiving end of it, and
So you guys make your way back to Second's van, and you all pile in. Second gets in the driver's seat. Nathan and Thomas just kind of instinctively get in the back of the van, and Omar normally would be riding like shotgun, but there's nobody there. And then the van starts moving, and then you realize Taper's sitting there in the shotgun seat. And he leans over there to Second, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Look, as your sire, well, I've released you from the accounting, right? So
what does that even mean?
it means I'm no longer responsible for you.
Then
So-
why are you here?
Because I just want to make sure that's clear.
Very clear. Very clear. I
Very clear.
appreciate the efforts you've made to teach me, and I feel educated. I
Do
feel
you?
full. You've filled me. Thank you for filling me. Please
But-
feel fulfilled in having filled.
But I don't. Listen. So how about we just drop this case? I mean, it's just a minor boon, right?
I don't have a full understanding of the relevance of a boon in a way that's quantifiable. So why don't you tell me why you're so concerned about me not taking this case?
Well, so okay, like your buddy Omar, right? He got all of Grub's debt, right?
Associate?
Yes, and so you're trying to do this good work, right? To help your buddy pay off his debt, right? I mean, but there's
Sure.
there's fates worse than debt. And I mean, it's just a boon. I mean, and then what happens? See, is you'd once he owes you, then you could just like call the sheriff and be like, "Hey, sheriff, you owe us this favor. Could you do this for us?" I mean, and he's not even that useful of a guy. I mean, he's just gonna make you do more work. If you come back, then you'll just get more work, and then because there's a deputy spot that's apparently open, he'll just want you to be deputy. Then he'll just be bossing you around all the time, and you don't want that, right?
Do I have... where are you going with this? Please get to Z.
On a
Yes.
side note, this sounds a bit more like career and life coaching versus like a full-on counseling session for his anger.
I'm just saying that if you
I don't know what you're saying. You're saying a lot and saying very little, which is an admirable skill, I'll admit. But in this context, it makes me want to slowly put
So-
a needle through my eye.
Second,
So-
read between the lines.
If there were lines, I would read between them. But there are not lines here. There are butterflies and rainbows and ink blots, but at no point are there lines. And I am sensing he needs to pee.
who
The twitchy tone of voice sounds like a pee-pee dance happening in your mouth. That's all I'm saying.
I just I just don't want anything to happen to you.
Why
Taper?
do you care?
Taper.
Yes.
That gangrel that we that you had us bring to you guys.
Well, look at the time. It's time that I be going.
Yeah,
Your 5 minutes of therapy
what-
is up, and he bails from the side of the van as it's rolling down the street, and you see him tumble. And he finally catches his foot. He kind of dusts himself off, and he takes off running as you're beginning to head out of town towards the hatchery.
So, sounds like we're hunting your boss.
I don't know anymore.
All of us hunting our sires?
I guess.
Well, no, I don't know, man. Seems to be just kind of laying in it like that. But that dude was a gangrel we found, so that's not Taper's boy. And I don't know what the fucking pander is, but
Okay, let's go over what the sheriff told us real quick here.
Not much.
The deputy was a gangrel who
Yeah.
disappeared in the area where we were created. We
Yeah.
took out a gangrel near the area we were created.
yeah, it figures. Scrawny dude, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So who put?
But
We got that
were
from the prince,
told-
right? No, we got that from our
Our
sires, right?
sires told us to take this person out and said it was from the prince to make up for destroying the hatchery.
Okay, hold on now. Which one of those motherfuckers told us that we had to do that? Was it Taper? Was it yours? Was mine? I'm trying to remember.
I was very angry then. It all blurs together.
Did you just take notes or anything, Thomas? Seems like it's your kind of thing.
Kind of seemed like it was a combined effort. So if you hadn't noticed from Omar's situation, the sins of the sire transfer onto the child.
All right, so I assume Taper was Camarilla or whatever, but Spot maybe.
So many words.
You know, let's
the
at
question
least
is,
go there and,
Walk
have a
around.
conversation.
yeah, maybe it's just a stupid coincidence, but,
We're not good at conversations.
that little part of the back of my head, that lizard brain, is just kind of saying, something's rotten in Denmark, and don't be surprised if we already knew the solution to this walking into it.
You have a
Yeah.
very smart lizard.
But we got paid, like, with recognition, right? Like, people in the city looked at it and were like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you took care of that problem. You did
No,
that
we're
thing.
getting told that we're getting paid in an economy of favors that we have yet to actually understand.
Yeah, but that harpy chick, she said she knew about that. Right? So it's already out there. And we're not dusted, so I think we're in the clear.
That's why we go out there. We do the footwork. But not be surprised if, let's say, we aren't able to find any information because it's, there is no such thing as a Fifth Amendment.
Dude, this is getting fucked up. Like, we have any way of knowing that any of these people are who they claim to be? Like princes and like fucking all that bullshit? Like, I don't even know what this stuff is half the time.
It's its own language, which is its own infuriation. But the overwhelming feeling is that the net is closing in, and no matter where we go, we run into another angle of it.
Yeah.
Well, first rule about Trap Club is expect a trap and that you're walking into it, so at least you're not totally surprised.
Yeah, but everything's a trap within a trap within a trap. We can't even leave the city without being told we're going to run into another trap. So
It's like a shitty Dune fanfic.
Okay. All right. So, man, I don't know what the fuck to do with this information. Let's just get there and see what's there. And like, if it's a setup, man, like we're not gonna know until we find out. I mean, if we're patsies, I guess lights will stir up and we'll be taken in for some people thrown down there, and we'll just figure it out.
Hey, you know what? If we get taken out, we don't have to become monsters, right?
Yeah.
if we don't have a plan, it can't fail.
Damn right.
There is that too.
I like that plan, to just not have one.
That's a Nathan plan right there.
When in doubt, there's 10 jars in the van.
That's right. So you roll into that tiny little town, all
Punch it,
200
Dewey.
some people there, there's a bar, and as you know, it's recently had a fire out back. And the front window is currently being repaired.
Is it the same address or is it a different address?
Yeah. I mean, it's this it's this town.
No, I
See
mean
there.
like the address for the meet with this, where the deputy went missing. It's just we're going back to the same bar, basically, right?
Essentially, I mean, it's
Okay.
yeah, pretty much to the same bar where you were. He gives you the name of the town more so than an exact address, but
Oh, message him through the app. See if he can send us a picture. You know, that could clear stuff up.
I mean, we definitely could do so.
Type. I type a message to the Harpy
to the Harpy, to Tasha.
seeking ID information on Duncan the deputy, preferably a
Wait, Duncan
photo.
should be in the app. You know, let's see if he put a picture in there.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting all the
Intelligence plus computers.
It's just gonna be a bunch of wavy lines. Just a little ghost apparition thing. With 2 fangs.
What's my difficulty?
Standard is 7.
I got 2 successes.
7 successes.
You go digging through. Thomas is able to find a few like tagged photos with from like Toreador, who like, hey, here's us at Elysium hanging with Duncan, and they're like, you know, he's like clearly not the photogenic type. Like he clearly is like there, but he's like not trying to be in the picture. But Second does a lot more digging and finally finds his barely ever used profile. It doesn't have a lot of activity on it, but it does have a few. It does have a few pics of him, and it does not take you but a couple seconds to notice that this is in fact the gangrel that you dusted.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, okay. So, that's fun. So I guess at some point we got to figure out why we'd be put onto this task.
I mean, you know, look at it this way.
Who
you
gave us
got-
this job? It wasn't mine, and it wasn't.
Wasn't Grub, obviously.
No.
I don't know. Can we roll like some kind of memory test here? Because I actually don't remember.
It was Tyrone.
Yeah, motherfucker. Wait a minute. No. That was that day I met Tyrone. First time.
Tyrone came to teach you the last of the traditions, destruction.
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah, he wanted me to.
And
He wanted to watch us do it.
Uh-huh.
Motherfucker.
I'm shocked and dismayed it's not mine. That's
Me too, man. Me too.
shocked and dismayed.
Makes me want to beat this dude's ass.
That
He's a
means
fucking prick.
mine is actually on our side, which means he's going to be in it for the long haul.
Second.
He's behind this. This is all so we think he's a good person. All of this is so we get on his side.
Second. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I know you don't need to, but just try it.
Hey, Thomas.
You don't need to be his friend, but think on this. Remember how sketchy he was about this. All of our sires were compliant in this because they watched us do it.
Hey, Thomas.
Yes.
You remember now when Chandra told you to meet Anatoly at Elysium, she specifically said, and don't mention me.
So we've been made for a coup?
It's starting to sound like it, man. Something like that.
You remember how your sire was a little disappointed in how you were talking about revolution and trying to go about it and saying you weren't being effective about it?
No, he was saying like, yo, these are somebody's things, and like we're all playthings, and your bullshit doesn't matter.
I have a plan.
Uh-huh.
We call the sheriff and we tell him the truth. Taper's not expecting that.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, man.
It'll work because he's not expecting it.
I mean, you're probably right on that, man, but I think
And
that's
he doesn't want us to do it, which is why we absolutely should.
Man, I don't want anything to do with that. That's like a quick trip to beatdown lane.
No, because if they're compliant, then we can sell them out and wipe them from the board and get a little bit more freedom than we had before.
I don't know, man. Like, you remember hearing all those bullshit laws, right? Like, it wasn't like, oh, they
and you
deal with
think
that one dude.
Making new vampires whose only purpose is to kick off an assassination-based coup and then turn themselves into patsies. If we come forward and we sell them out, I guarantee their betrayal is of a worse regard than killing a deputy.
Yeah, I know, man. But I mean, they're definitely going to take the fall. But like, I don't think we get to hang around. See what I'm saying?
The sins of the father are the sins of the child.
No, I've been released from the accounting.
According to who?
He just told me.
He told you. So, like, the only thing we got so far is we were told to go register with the Harpy, who was part of the Sabbat, right? So, for all we know, the Sabbat are a bunch of bullshit liars on this thing, and that the whole time we've been kind of registering with just random chick that runs a tattoo parlor, and we're not official anything. We're just some random shitheads just walking around.
Nope, the sheriff confirmed we had just finished accounting. So that part we can debunk.
Exhausting.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be recognized in the system.
This is exhausting.
I mean, dude just has to say he's the sheriff. He didn't have to say anything else, right? We just buy it. I mean, we don't know better. We don't know about shit.
Well, let's look up his profile. We have these apps for a reason, right?
Right? If you think that info's good.
Well, if we're not using the, if we're just gonna sit there, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Aside from that, we'd spend all night sitting here and trying to figure out, how not to, like, incriminate ourselves and, like, screw over our parents, potentially.
He's got a point. I'm gonna pull over somewhere.
Okay.
Where we have sight lines and lots of public.
Well, not tons of public in this little town, but as public as you can get.
Stupid little town.
But you're at the Casey's. It's as public as it gets in the little town.
I drive back to New Haven.
Okay, you turn around and you come all the way back to the city.
So stupid. That's what this is about. This is about making us drive through the country.
So you come back into town and you find a busier street to go park alongside.
I want to do a breakdown of doing. I want to deep dive Willis. What was the name of the harpy? Everybody.
Tasha.
Natasha. No. Yeah.
Just Tasha.
And while he's doing that, I'm just gonna see if I can find a quick picture of the sheriff.
I want to deep dive Willis, Natasha, and all of our sires, and as many profiles as I can find, or duplicate profiles, or cross-referencing other people's social media.
Okay.
And see if I can find any of them, any of the three
in computers
that come across as yeah.
In computers, difficulty 7. Give me the number of successes.
Okay.
All right, I have 3 successes if it's difficulty 7.
Okay.
I only have 2 successes.
Okay. Between the two of you, you find that Willis Vanderbeek is a very high-ranking Ventru with 4 status in the Camarilla. He was the sheriff for the previous prince, who was a Toreador named Voltaire. He retained his position under Prince Sebastian and is known to be one of the most upstanding kindred in the Camarilla in this domain. Tasha is an acknowledged former member of the Sabbat who has registered under the direction of the new prince as a part of sort of the peace treaty between the Camarilla and the Sabbat.
So she's like a ward that got passed off.
So she has become a harpy, kind of lower ranking amongst harpies in the domain. She's not fully really trusted yet, you kind of get a sense, but is attempting to try to do the job to maintain peace because of the incidents that caused iKindred to be put into place, with the destruction of Prince Voltaire and with Prince Sebastian taking over and all of this coming to be. She has fallen kind of to her position as a harpy to help register, in particular, members of the Sabbat who wish to come join Kindred Society as a whole, as the prince's sort of olive branch, if you will. The only other person that you find amongst your sires that have much of a presence, Grub was on there. He was known. Obviously, he had signed on, had accumulated a fair amount of boon debt from gambling. What
did he gamble on?
It seems like he gambled on lots of different things. It seems like there's
like the machinations of other vampires and like whether they'd succeed or fail, or
yeah, it seems like he had it was like a lot of trivial boons that eventually became minor boons, eventually worked their way up. He had a large network of herd that he was building, but he took on a lot of overhead boon debt to collect it. He paid a lot of boons to know certain secrets, in particular feeding habits of Ventru and things of that nature, because he knew in order to sort of get those to get the kind of blood that would be
market
needed.
Research.
Yeah. So he was going into, it's kind of like a person who took out a business loan to start a business, and he was like still paying off the loans effectively when he died. The only other one that comes up is Chandra. Chandra is listed as a member of the Camarilla and a member of Clan Tremere, but is a highly disgraced member of the clan, to the point that I'm pretty sure Thomas Weller's sheet has her listed as an infamous sire as a flaw. So it is well known and established that she has all been but excommunicated from the clan as a whole.
Oh no, not again.
Witching
out.
Taper was just here.
I regret drawing that picture.
Levi's never regretted art so bad his whole life.
You know, it was gonna happen. You censored his nipples with the either electrical tape, or gratuitous electrical tape, or
it's
the leather
electrical
straps.
tape.
So
It's definitely electrical tape.
Definitely electrical tape.
So yeah, they're
There's a backstory here.
they're slowly starting to unravel. They're slowly starting to realize kind of what's at play. They early on in the game, not tonight, but just in the game, that one of their sires, Jeff's sire Tyrone, to teach them the last of the traditions of destruction, sent them to find a squatter gangrel that they were told was squatting. They went to a bar, found him, drug him back, and then with Tyrone's direction, executed this gangrel for right of destruction in the name of the prince of the domain, Prince Sebastian, and then they were given some boons from a harpy for doing so. They have since now taken up a job board from iKindred because the local sheriff needed help finding his lost deputy. They get information that, the deputy is a gangrel and he was sent to this little town to go find out some rumors about the some Sabbat activity, upon which they drive back to the town they came from, and they realize that the deputy that has gone missing is in fact the same deputy that they iced back in episode 2, and now they realize that they have been played. And they're trying to figure out to what level they've been played, so now they're researching all of their sires and everyone else, only to find that many of them have very shady past, non-existent profiles in the domain, and they just realize that essentially they're out to investigate a murder they committed. And they don't exactly know what to do about it now at this point, so they're contemplating whether they turn themselves in, and whether that means they get destroyed, or just their sires. Taper was in there trying to convince them not to go investigate the case. And then he did some side therapy sessions with Second. Sketchy. And then when they all started to piece together what was going on, he bailed because he did not want to be there to have to answer questions at the point that now they have questions. So he threw himself out of a moving van, is where they saw Taper last.
You've never been happier.
Good times. It's good times.
All right, so you got like some psycho lady as your mama. We know about your dude. My guy's not even there.
Yeah, his profile doesn't even exist on there that you can find under the name Tyrone.
No, like person with a profile pic that matches his face.
Not with the amount of successes they had.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man, I don't know what to do about this shit.
I'm sorry that just popped in. All this kind of came into mind the moment he said gangrel deputy.
No, man, you're
So
right.
back from that point, is where I was at.
Well, as one of the members of the board of Simmons Siding, skinning homes since 1972, I would like to promote Thomas and the organization to head of tactics.
I second that.
I don't know.
You're the head of the tax division in Simmons Siding. What do you think is the best way to go about this?
Well, let's see. We are going to be weaker than our sires. Fighting them head on would be
We did
foolish.
set one on fire, and it worked out really good.
If they don't know what's coming.
All right, so our liabilities include ourselves at this point, our bonds to our sires, however strong they may or may not be, even like not liking your sire at all can be exploited as a look at second.
That's a good question for the DM there.
He's stopping just short of $1 so he can't summon Taper.
I approve of this. Out of curiosity, do we actually feel the effects of blood bonds towards our sires?
You do.
Okay. All right.
You guys did, because if you remember, when Grub was destroyed, Omar had a reaction.
Huh?
Yeah, he did.
You
We could
guys,
have been blood bound while we were laying in that tub, and just been random dudes.
you
We
don't.
could have been okay, here's what I learned from being Tremere. We could have been bloodbound before we were embraced.
He's not wrong there either.
All right, so
Takes 3 nights, I think, or 3 drinks, something like. Player just doesn't remember off the top of head, but
yeah, it's 3. Yeah.
It is 3 is the max. 1 does the job, but 3 is the max. Like, you guys are definitely not 3 as far as you can tell. But
Doesn't feel like a 3.
nope.
So if you're saying, so let's say I'm bloodbound to tapes. Then if we try to do anything against him, I would stop and turn on you? Or I would just stop? What does it
depends
even
on your
mean?
connection. Basically, you know, if you're tied, you're tied. You aren't gonna act against the one you're bound to.
Tell you what, next time Taper shows up, I'll shove him down.
I've already conspired against him a number of times, or tried to.
That's true.
So I don't feel any connection yet.
All
Unless
right.
he doesn't want me to feel.
All right, so Thomas, like, let's figure this out. It's got to come up with something quick. So,
Well,
what do you think's gonna happen here?
I say, you know, we could do this. We could do a sham investigation and say, you know, it's inconclusive. Last seen outside of a bar, dragged off by a few individuals. None of the, no mortal witnesses, no video that we could cover.
We better check
or
and make
recover
sure that
from
is the case.
situation.
Because if there is evidence of us being there, it's out there.
I still say
Remember, we
the best way to
went
go
and checked
about
for
this.
security cameras.
I think if we just confess it straight up, it is not what the sires want, and I think that can give us some really interesting results.
Thomas, you got any better ideas than that?
I mean, if we did that, we'd honestly have
It
to
is
turn
the
over
last
the
thing
new, hold
Chandler
on.
would expect.
It is. However, there's also this whole little bit about there was an inside on this because we got boons for doing this, which means the Harpy is involved.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying before, right?
I contact the
so-
Harpy through the app. Tasha,
Are you sure you
from
want to use the
whom
app?
did the boon? No. I start up a DM with Tasha. That
Okay.
is, I encrypt.
You're
What do I
encrypt-
got to do?
Oh, you're trying to encrypt it?
Yeah, I don't want anybody to know there's a trail that this ever existed.
Okay. Then it'd be, again, intelligence computers. Standard difficulty.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 5 successes.
Ooh, that's a good roll. 1, 2. Okay, you beat me.
I want to start up a conversation. Tasha, this is second. Who gave us the boon for the rite of destruction on the gangrel? What's the source of the boon?
On the squatter. Maybe refer to it as the squatter, not use gangrel.
The squatter. I run my DM past the head of tactics of Simmons Siding to make sure that it meets board approval. I don't want to misrepresent Simmons Siding. We've been skinning home since 1972.
You get a response from Tasha. It says, The boons were offered by me.
Tasha offered the boons.
Since we're encrypted, let's maybe we play this a little bit and make a hypothetical. If what would happen if what type of story, what would need to happen for us to get a boon from the sheriff for the investigation, but not necessarily have any negative impacts on people who could be involved?
What he said.
So you type, like, what will it take to... What is it? How you worded it again there, Thomas? That he's typing as you say?
Basically, we're doing this very carefully, so that way, if the encryption gets broken, it's still cryptic.
Okay.
How
But I think
dare
she'll understand.
you?
Caution. There's no such thing as too much caution. There's
That's
only
fair.
A lack
That's
of
fair.
caution.
There's a reason he's the head of tactics of Simmons Siding.
No problem, man.
I'm just a
All
materials
right,
engineer.
So, what would it take for a successfully resolved investigation that comes out with mutually beneficial outcome?
Postscript,
believe you
Aluminum is the
understand.
future.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You get a response that says, you'll need the ashes of a gangrel, or you'll need responsible kindred.
So she wants us to feed them our sires. My God.
No, that's not what she said. We need is a patsy, or we find out what they did with the gangrel's body. Or
I'm
the
just going to point
ashes
out that
thereof.
technically he's here, right? Didn't that just happen, technically?
Who?
No, that
Liching
was a month ago.
Liching just dropped cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cents.
He's intentionally falling short of the dollar so that he doesn't pull in a taper till he's ready. He's like, I don't know what he's not giving any commands for taper, so he's just rolling in just under the dollar needed. I don't know if he's
appreciate that.
His edging skills are very high here. With
I mean, he's put in over $1, so if he gives a command, taper will show back up with what he's already put in. He's just sandbagging it. He's edging out.
So, something else I was just thinking about. Like, they said there were multiple harpies and she's low on the totem pole. Should we check to see if we
Right.
have any kind of boon records or accounting records or any of that shit with any other harpies? Because if she's just telling us it's there, we don't have any
Well, remember-
way of knowing.
the app
I-
is connected to everyone.
I'm going to dig through
So
Harpy
if it's in the
records.
system, if it's in the system, theoretically, it's good.
I'm digging through Harpy records. I want to
Go.
hack her records.
Go for it. Just let me know the number of successes. This is in your wheelhouse. I mean, I assume you're going to be fine.
Ah, shit. I rolled ones. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You remember how your sire was saying,
Three
we need to
successes.
figure out how to make our difference in the world here, Nathan?
You start going through the Harpy records, and as you're going
This
through
is
Harpy
how-
records, everything's lining up, everything's looking right, and then you get a screen prompt.
Oh.
It says,
What does it say?
It says, "Don't look any further," and it's signed Second.
Adam. It's signed me?
You.
I've been waiting for this moment.
What's up?
I'm working against myself.
Okay, man. Just like, all right. Let's put the computers down. Let's just get something done.
Hold on. And then
Actually,
I'll
that's a
take the
fair bit
computer
done at
out in the
this
middle of
point.
the street, smash it on the ground,
Okay.
smash the jaw on it, set fire to it, and I'm gonna break into a nearby car and leave.
Are you taking everyone else with you, or you just left them in your van?
No,
We're
no, no.
driving the van.
Oh.
I leave the van. I take the computer. I smash it on the.
I was following you there. It's the other car leaving. I just want to make sure I understand like where everyone else is at this point.
I'm gonna try and break into another car that's parked,
Okay.
hotwire it, and leave.
Give me a wits plus repair.
Wits.
I believe repair is under skills if I'm recalling correctly. I'll pull up a sheet just to make sure I'm right. But
Yeah. I don't remember repair being a skill, but craft probably.
I got repair.
Security. Security.
Security. Sorry, is what I meant. Yes. Sorry, security.
Okay, is my difficulty 7?
Yes, as all things are.
I got 1 success.
One success. So you get the car. You get the car's window, the door like popped open, and you get in there, but like you can't get this thing hot wired. These new age cars with their push button starts and shit, like you can't. This thing doesn't like hot wire like the old ones used to.
You good, man?
Bust into another car. There's no time. Another car.
You're trying to get to another one.
All right, so second's gone.
So he's out there setting off car alarms. Wah, 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 wah.
Just like staring at him, like,
So,
Get out of here! Save the siding company!
banish shit.
okay.
All right. Well, where are we going, Thomas?
Well, can you turn over a second and just toss him in the back? I mean, we can't leave him out here like this, otherwise we know for sure he'll get greased.
You're in a really busy area, remind you. So there's people
Oh, yeah.
stopping.
Yeah. I'm
Everyone's
on
starting
camera.
to watch him. Yes.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's Animal G. So you're like trying to break into the next car, and like all of a sudden another set of hands like reaches in there and starts helping pull back on the door. He's like, "Here, I'll hold it." And he put like 1 foot up on the side. He's pulling back. He's like, "Quick!" He's like, "Reach in there and hit the button. It'll unlock."
Okay.
He pops it open. Go now, go. Now get in.
We hate you. Why the fuck is this a coup? And then I drive away with him in the car.
In the car. So you take off screeching down the road. There's
All right,
like,
Nate, come on.
think he's
I
good,
get in
man.
the driver's seat and start following.
give me a Dex plus drive.
Dex drive. Let's see. That's 4 dice. Woohoo! I got 3 successes.
Oh hell, that's better than I imagined. So you wind your way through the traffic, which is all stopping. There's people out there. Like this whole thing is like incidents like on camera, and you and Taper take off down the road.
I'm just trying to get out of town onto like an interstate where I can go
Are-
crazy fucking fast.
Are the rest of you attempting to follow him?
Yeah.
Apparently.
If you're driving, make wits drive to try to shadow him and not lose him.
Then I guess the question is, are you going to fly at like crazy speeds, or are you just going to stay at a normal pace?
No, I'm going at crazy speeds.
That's why it's wits
I have
drive to make
Yep.
for reaction, and more so than Dex to actually steer. For him, it's just steering because he can go where he wants. You have to try to follow.
4 successes.
Okay, you got enough to keep up
Wow.
with his 3. So you got the van behind him. You're like, "Vrr."
He doesn't want us to be safe. I
Taper
buckled my
looks
seat.
over. Taper looks over and he goes, "I think they're following us."
I know. I'm following me. That's the problem. I buckle my seatbelt, but I want to make it look like it's buckled, but it's not buckled.
Why are you following you?
Because that's what I would do. And so I keep driving. And I was like, here!
Nate.
And I give him a bag with 2 jars. Hold these!
He looks at you and he points at you and he gets this real serious look on his face. And he goes, don't you dare take my job. It's my job to follow you. If you start following you, that means I don't need to follow you anymore. And it's my job to follow you. Because you told me to. And then he sits back.
I aim the car at a solid object and I dive out.
Oh no.
Okay. So give me a wits drive.
He is holding a bag with 2 jars.
Give me a wits drive.
Slowly but surely.
3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, now what I would like you to do is give me a dex dodge, and you will need at least 3 successes, and this is going to be a difficulty +1, making it 8.
3 successes of difficulty 8.
Yep, you have to beat your own drive roll to whip this thing into a...
My own driver.
The dex die roll.
Yep.
I got 4 successes.
Oh, you did it. Okay, so you
4
find
successes.
as you're flying down this road towards the hatchery, you're just right back out the road you came on. You see a telephone pole coming up right as he says that, and you instinctively just whip towards it and bail out the side. Hit the ground. You're gonna still take some bashing damages. Won't be as
That's
bad as
fine.
it would have if you
Please
were.
do.
So we'll do our 5. We'll do our 5 dice worth of road rash bashing damage here.
5 dice. Let's do this.
3, 4, 4 bashing damage, which is not the end of the world, but it's
I can roll to soak bashing, right?
yes, you can stamina.
Okay.
Difficulty
Your
6.
stamina 6. I take 3.
So you take 3 bashing damage as
We
you.
have it right. This is bashing damage.
No, I don't think
part.
it's not halved. It just heals
No,
twice
not
as
this
easily.
version. Basically,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It heals
Essentially,
twice as
it's,
quickly. Yeah, 1 point heals 2 instead of 1 to 1.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you take the 3, you get some road rash, but you mostly land on the shoulder, not the asphalt. So you get a little gravel and then into the grass and into the thing, and you kind of flail around and the car slams in there. Now I got to make a taper roll. You had 3 successes, so he needs 4 successes at difficulty 8.
Oh!
It's always going to come to this.
He had 2
Bend it any
ones,
other way.
but he got 7 successes, so he has 5. So the other door flings open. The bag with the 2 jars still sitting in the passenger seat. As he flails out the side, he takes. Jesus. Oh my god.
I've done a job after all.
Okay, he takes 6 bashing damage as he
Nice.
flings out the passenger side and lands in some farmer's barbed wire fence.
Yeah.
And he's all strung up like the scarecrow in it at the moment. But it's like caught him from hitting the ground. And he's all kind of arm tangled up through the barbed wire as your car hits this telephone pole, knocking it over, and the car explodes from the bottles that are in the front seat.
That's
It catches fire. Boom! The whole thing goes up. It doesn't burn. It doesn't like. It's just enough to make you have to real briefly check for Roshrek. But if you make a willpower roll,
What's my difficulty?
the difficulty will be 6 because it's a very quick burst of
Purge
flame
your
and then it's gone.
self-control.
I got
Or,
2
yeah,
successes.
sorry, it's under self-control, isn't it? You are correct.
Self-control. I got... I botched it.
Okay, so you stand there, you see the flames go up,
-1 success.
and when the flames go up, you just start running down the ditch away from it. And this goes on for a couple of rounds worth of running, more than enough time for the two who were trailing
For the
you
crew of Simmons siding to figure this shit out.
to
Let's
see
do
this shit happen.
guys.
Because you guys are in a vehicle and somewhat protected, you see this whole thing go
ticking
down.
up slowly. Witching hour is just edging closer.
Yeah, he's
and closer.
getting closer.
Edging hour.
So, you guys see Second is just running at full speed down through the ditch after just slamming that car he stole into a telephone pole and it catching fire.
All right, I'll get him.
Or do you want to stake Taper?
Well,
All right, Nate's out the door.
okay. So Thomas pulls over. Nate hops out. What are you doing, Nate?
Thomas said, "I'm doing it."
You're going after Second?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Oh, you're going for Taper?
Thomas told me to go stake him. I'm gonna go stake him.
Okay.
He's the boss.
You can find a shard of wood from this telephone pole that just shattered. I
That's
mean,
what I was thinking.
I'm the materials engineer. I create situations that lead to success.
so is Thomas going after Second then?
Yep, I will lock eyes with Second and tell him calm down or calm
Okay, so roll your dominate.
and dominate. Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
What's that versus? My will, I assume?
I believe so.
Yep. And I forget the roll for it. Is
I got the book pulled up here. I can look at it here real fast.
Manipulation. Difficulty is my permanent willpower.
It's
4.
it's manipulation empathy. Is that what you said?
No, well, but his difficulty is super easy.
Okay.
Manipulation, intimidation.
Intimidation.
Says since
4.
how many successes do I need?
Just one, I believe. The
Okay,
DC is set
I've
at
got
his
2.
willpower, so yeah. So you tell him to calm, and you know you feel yourself slow down your run, and you're.
It's upsetting. Okay, so if I were me, I would be running. I always run east, so I'd have to run west, but I would be expecting to run west if I set myself.
Hey, if you look over at Nathan, we're gonna see if we get a stake and Taper.
You look back,
get up, Witch.
and you see Nathan got a nice sharp shard of otherwise treated telephone pole, and Taper's all caught in there, and he's trying to get his arm undone, and he's like working on it, and he sees you coming over, and I mean,
Can I approach from a direction where he's not directly looking at me?
he's got
Or is
high
that not
level.
an
He's got high level aspects. You don't have any
Fair
obfuscate,
enough.
so he's gonna see you.
All right.
What are you gonna do with that? You gonna here? Hey, if you use that and you help bend these 2 wires, I could probably get my arm out.
Yeah, let me see what I can do with that. And then I'll pull the barbed wire up with it like I'm prying it, and then just slip and drive that sucker straight into his heart.
All right, go ahead and make a strength. Well, it'd be strength melee, I believe.
Real pissed about this one. Let's see. What staking difficulty? Is it 8? normally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
That's okay.
You need at least 3 successes, I believe, to pierce heart.
Well, that's good because I got 5.
Yeah. So you jam the thing in there. He's kind of defenseless. There is not much he can do. I will roll his stamina to attempt to soak.
I put my hand on Second's shoulder, lean over, and say, "You're welcome."
He only soaks one, leaving 4 left. So you are able to penetrate his chest quite easily with your Bruja strength and your ridiculously good barbaric feat of
brokenness.
merit of brokenness. And you shove this
Merit of
thing all the way right through his chest. And his eyes just kind of fall pale, and he lays there, mouth gaping open.
Pick him up and get him up disentangled, and then I can't believe he just got impaled on that pole. That's awful. Good. Take him on back to the van.
You take him back to the van and put his body in the back. And I assume Second gets back into the van as well?
Yeah? Okay.
A little anticlimactic, wasn't it, there, Second?
Nate,
That's the
if
plan.
you were me and you told him to do what I said, which would be everything he's done up until today, would you expect me to come with him if he's working for me?
Fuck are you talking about?
It's a many-layered box, all right?
Hey, we got this taken care of, man. You don't have to worry about that shit anymore. What do you want to do with him?
No, if they don't want you to worry. It's now is the key time. Now is the decision. When we calm, that's when the defenses come down. This is an opportunity. So, the question is, we have evidence. Him. Complicit in all this, right? So, what if we do the plan now? What if we tell the sheriff now and hand him over?
I need to have some evidence, like recording him saying something. So I doubt he's going to turn himself in.
It's
Right.
an
All we would
intent.
need, at this stage, we're still looking for gangrel ashes.
Lashes.
Right, but we have one of our sires here, staked and held. That's a point of leverage over our other sires.
They don't like him
Potentially.
or care. And everything that comes out of his mouth sounds like something I would say. So it's immaterial.
Huh. So what are you thinking?
Staked, he's not going to be able to do anything, right? So
I think we put him in a septic
at this
tank.
point, he's on ice.
We got to put him in a hole in the ground and leave him for a while till we know what to do with him.
Second is the
Second
new
is the new taper. If you only knew. All right, so you want to put this guy on ice for a little bit, and then what are we doing with it? You said
Yeah, I don't
leverage.
know.
We hold on to it. Right now, we have a lever. We need to figure out what it's going to move.
The head of tactics of Simmons sighting has a point.
All right.
A dead taper does us no good right now. But a stake taper could be more valuable.
Yeah. All right.
Because then we have options. If all else fails and we can't recover ashes, we have a patsy now. It's 3-on-1. We're in good standing with the Camarilla at this point. How was Taper's profile again there, Second?
I check it.
Low level, Camarilla, very little status. Seemingly,
He's an outsider at that.
Seemingly a no one. Sire listed is unknown.
He has no listed known sires. But I'm going to scan other Malkavians. Is that pretty similar? Is that a theme?
Yeah, most of you don't always know who made you.
Yeah.
Your clan family in particular
a-
sometimes are kind of hit and miss on the sticking around. Only second maybe to Gangrel as far as orphans.
It's almost like he's a stereotype.
Almost. Make
Really? Second
make
was the sire the whole time.
Jesus, you're breaking my brain. That actually might be.
You're
that might
bastard
be the
child.
truth.
Levi. I was just in the middle of saying, make a willpower roll.
God damn it. Okay, I make a willpower roll. What's my difficulty?
7.
I got 1 success.
1 success.
Got 1 success.
You're sitting there, and you get a glimpse, a memory that you have suppressed, where you did in fact embrace Taper. His constant nagging and coming around is the reverse blood bond. You don't feel a tie to him. He feels a tie to you. You told him to watch after you. You told him to follow you in case anything were to happen. He's doing exactly what you told him, Second. He didn't put you in that tub. Someone else did.
So yeah, anyway, like, we called Tyrone, we get him in person,
Now you remember,
use him, see what he
Second.
does.
He used to deliver coffee to you when you were working on Eve. He worked in the building. Before you set the whole thing ablaze. He was just an errand boy.
His real name is Jerry.
What?
His real name is Jerry Bakesman.
Jerry Bakesman.
He's a coffee guy from Espresso Royale. I made him. I'm me.
I think you need to
I
chill,
pick him
man.
up. I'm like, Jerry, and I'm slamming him up inside the van wall. I'm sorry, Jerry.
I think he has lost it, man.
You know what? I saw an opportunity, and you know, you miss 100% of shots you don't take, right?
We're not throwing Jerry in a septic tank. Bakesman's not going down that way.
Was it like a 180?
No, 360. There's somebody else in the play. And we're gonna find him. It's like a 920. It's like a Tony Hawk.
Oh, what to make you, man? Did you get into something tonight? Like, what's wrong with you?
Let's get nuts.
Only on the courtesy of the edging hour. Courtesy of the edging hour.
Dude, what the fuck did Taper do to you, man?
Taper didn't do anything. I did something to Taper. Okay. So.
Thomas, I think he fucked with him, man.
No. Leave him alone. His name's Jerry. And I'm gonna form a human wall around Jerry. I told her to put the tape on. I told her to put the tape on.
I think he did something with his head.
He's edging ever
Myself a head
closer.
rush in real life too. I have a really bad headache right now.
Sorry to hear that. Dude, we gotta do
All
something
right,
about this.
so
Okay, we gotta go back. We can't go back to where they know we are. We gotta find a new place.
So what are we doing? Are we turning these motherfuckers in, or what? Like, what would we be doing?
well, we've got one right now. That doesn't hurt us at this stage, right? So that gives us bargaining power. What we need to do is we need to find out where the ashes that the real hat trick is to see if we can find the ashes of the where they dispose the actual gangrel, right? Because then that's source material. We don't have to worry about coming up with a fresh gangrel.
So like Tyrone took it, right? Like we didn't just flush it down the drain, did we? Like he packaged that up. I think that's right. That's clear. Yeah.
He said that he'd clean up afterwards.
Yep.
You guys didn't watch him do it, but he said he'd clean up afterwards.
Yep.
So Tyrone's got that shit somewhere.
Yep.
Let's go talk to him.
That's what I'm thinking. We get that. We follow the steps here. We get that boon. We've tidied up the situation. We've covered ourselves. We've covered for our sires. And you can let our sires know they'll owe us boons.
We're doing blackmail?
Yes. And it's such an awful word. I prefer extortion or, quid pro quo. I mean, look at it this way. This is how people get ahead or not.
I'm not saying I'm offended by it.
Ahead.
I'm just saying, is that what we're doing? Like,
I mean, that seems to be, it's a safe option because if they rat us out, they get ratted too. Mutually assured destruction. It closes the situation. It means it won't get investigated because if it stays around, eventually someone will try to piece this together. And, I'm not necessarily the world's smartest guy, but I had this pegged pretty quick.
We have to hypnotize me or do something because I know more than I know. Oh! Ah! I hacked my own computer. Ah, I broke it! I checked my second computer.
What are you checking for? Just to see that it's working?
Hidden files I would have kept from myself.
Oh, yeah. I like that one.
it's in that one folder on the desktop with a sketchy name.
All right, what's your roll?
Care Bears.
Yeah, it's called 2012 tax receipts.
This is a DC 7. So how many successes on an int plus computers?
It's just a folder filled with porn.
7.
That's it.
I got 4 successes.
Okay, that's how many successes you had to hide files. Now let's see if you can beat it to find them.
God damn it. I did. I got 1,
10
2,
to 1.
3. I got
He finds
I
it
got
actually stored as a
5
JPEG.
successes.
You
Of
got
like My
5
Little
successes.
Pony.
Yes.
Yeah.
6 successes.
You find a
Right.
file and it says like "Do not open," and you click on
I
it,
open it.
and a screen comes up and it says, "Why the fuck did you do that second?"
Because I'm you, and Jerry's not going to go down for this. Why am I talking? I typed that.
You keep going through a series of files where it keeps popping up like, "Will you please
and
stop
I'm taunting
it?"
myself.
Yes, essentially
No!
And as you do this, you start to remember. You start to remember the long hours in the cubicle.
I sat there for days.
You coded this thing. Coded it.
Seconds the secret prince.
I made it.
See you
You-
a second.
At
Made
least
it.
Eve.
Why did I do that?
Why did I make you? Why did I make you?
I said, you didn't have a choice.
What do you do?
Whatever you tell me,
What did I tell you to do?
to wait for you.
Then what?
And then Adam comes,
Who's Adam?
the counterpart to Eve.
Okay. Well, guys, this is a lot to unpack. So, this is Eve.
The computer?
She's an AI that destroyed my family, and I've been working very hard to destroy. And it turns out I made her and forgot that I did. And then I made Jerry to stop myself from stopping. Adam is bad. That's all we got to worry about. There's an Adam, and he is bad. Eve. So you do what I say?
Stop blaming me. You killed your family.
Uh-oh. Yep, that's it. Witching hour. Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina.
What are you talking about? You
What
did all
happens
that,
when
Eve.
Taper is staked and Taper can't taper?
I know.
That electrical tape on his nipples was for more than just looks. It's protection.
So you're all sitting there not paying any attention. And little did you realize that seconds repeat slamming of Jerry into the wall of the van has dislodged the stake enough. You look and Taper is gone.
Jerry, no! Jerry, come back!
And that is where we're going to wrap for the night.
That's pretty good shit. That's pretty good shit.
God damn it.
Right?
All right. That was a roller coaster ride tonight, my friend. Well done. Well done. Nice try, Nathan. Love it.
I've been setting this shit up for so long.
It's good. It's good. Real
Oh.
But for the record, Boffrin was the first to crack it back in game 2. He figured it out and told me after the game what was going on. I was like, you son of a bitch, you cannot tell the others. Because he figured it out that long ago, and I was like, shit. I was like, so he's like had a good idea what's going on this whole time and just hasn't said a word. Because he figured that shit out. Like, we got done, we were talking post-game, and he was just like, dude, we would be like the most Sabat pack ever. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, don't tell nobody.
Yep, it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good
Ah.
stuff. Infiltrating and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's yep.
So
I mean, in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So the first of
Classic.
several plot twists finally dropped tonight. I'm super happy with the way it all went. It took a long time to get here and a lot of build up, but we're kind of now starting to get into some of the meat of what I had planned for this game. So
I gotta write so many notes now.
Nice. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
all right. Well, thank you everyone for the donations tonight. Liching Hour, Animal G, making Taper come in and do shit tonight. I do my best to honor
Jerry.
the point.
He has a
Jerry he
name.
has a name now, Jerry. I knew from the get-go that it was Second's kid, just because Levi created it, so it had to be Levi's creation. Like,
Yeah,
it had to be. So,
Yep.
and then they start talking about the blood bonds and how he doesn't feel it, and I'm like, that's right, he doesn't feel a blood bond to Taper. I'm like, the whole thing is...
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you, Ogle.
so
That's good.
we're getting there. So Taper's going to get more interesting now as we go.
I
So
almost turned my own imagination on itself now, which is fucking mean.
I'm a
Well,
terrible person. I used to do this in LARP to people all the time. Like, oh, you created something? Here's how I'm going to twist it and make you hate it. All right, so that is it for tonight. Again, thank you to my players. It's been a couple weeks. I'm glad that we're finally kind of getting into some of the what's going on with this whole ordeal. Been a little bit of a slow burn, perhaps, at this point, but I think now the players have, except for Cameron. Cameron's gonna be so fucked. He's not gonna watch this episode, and he's gonna come back with no idea what's going on.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, Taper's back." I'm like, "Good, save Jerry."
What the fuck? Things are about to get very, very weird. So, again, thank you everybody for the donations tonight. Don't tell him, Animal G. Just let him come back in not knowing anything. Just
You can
leave.
tell him he's not gonna listen. He doesn't read.
He won't remember it.
That's right. So.
Oh my god.